And then companies here that are stepping up to produce right here in New York City: Boyce Technologies, Bednark Studios, Makerspace, and Adafruit, all local companies that have agreed to help us by producing tens of thousands of face shields right here in New York City. All of this is going to make a difference. Every single one of these efforts matters, and this is how we save lives, to make sure these supplies are always available to our brave and heroic healthcare workers. So thank you to all these companies for stepping up.
Live from New York, it's Ask an Engineer.
We're still live. We're still from New York. We're just shifted in space a little bit.
Yeah, so this is Ask an Engineer. Normally we do it from our factory location, which we've been doing for, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 years now. Before that we did that from our apartment. Now we're back to doing Ask an Engineer from our apartment. So lots of things change, and then some things stay the same. So,
it's still us. It's still me, Lady Ada, and with me is Mr. Lady Ada.
That's right.
You might not recognize him, but
and
that's still him.
the videos that you just saw, this is us. So we're doing staggered shifts at the Adafruit factory. Lady Ada and I, we're the only 2 people in our household, so we're always together. So we can work together at the factory. Adafruit currently is doing essential manufacturing. We were deemed an essential business in New York City because we do manufacturing for lots of components that are used in things, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And we're also doing face shields with the city of New York, so folks can get these via New York City government, specifically into the hospitals that need it. So this is, day 4 or 5 for some people in New York. It depends on where you are out in the world.
Yeah, sheltered in place.
But we are in COVID times. So one thing we just did was show and tell. We were able to do that for an hour, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And just to give everyone an idea, we may or may not be able to do Ask an Engineer every week. Show and tell, someone will be able to do it, and our team is ready to help out with that. But for Ask an Engineer, if we're doing work that we have to do, maybe we'll just do a different time. But so far so good. We've managed to be here tonight. We're happy to be here with you. A little bit of a reminder. So all of us who are, we're going into the office because we have to. But for the folks that are you're being asked to stay home, please do that. That's the whole point of this entire exercise. So this is from the New York State, like, stay home.
Stay home.
Even if you're okay, we're doing this to protect other people. So please do what the professionals and the experts are saying. Little bit of a note, I want to just kick it off at the top of the show. We are doing essential manufacturing, so if you fall into that category, as in someone who's really doing stuff with a hospital, or you're really doing stuff for medical devices,
testing.
A lot of our sensors that we use, and a lot of the things that people do for prototypes. This photo has been running around. This is the MIT project, so this uses some of our stuff, and anything that's Arduino compatible essentially. And this is just to get them going. These are prototypes. These aren't the things everyone keeps saying, ventilators, but that's not what we're making. We're making the components for the people that need to do projects and testing and things that are critical. But just to be clear, we're not making this. We're also not making N95 masks.
No.
We're also not in Brooklyn.
But we are doing what we can.
Yeah.
Little pieces. We are part of the
But we're in
supply
Manhattan,
chain.
yeah. And so we've been working really closely with the city. We have a lot of things that we've been learning about what this means for a workforce, what this means for a city, what this means for society. So we have some product ideas. We have some really neat R&D that we're doing, and we'll talk about that later. But we will be able to crank out the machines again for essential manufacturing. So you probably will not see new products from us for a little bit, but you'll see things at DigiKey. So one thing I wanted to mention is that if you can't get stuff in stock on Adafruit site, go to DigiKey, make an account. Make an account now anyways, but...
And then just search for Adafruit, and then the 4-digit or 3-digit part number.
I think you could do digikey.com/Adafruit.
Yeah, but if you're like, oh, I need like a feather, or I need a 3333, a Circuit Playground Express, you can go to digikey.com and type in Adafruit and then space 3333, and it should pop you up the Circuit Playground Express. So they ship till like 8 p.m. Every night. They're doing a lot of shipping, and so almost everything that we stock is available at digikey.com.
Yeah.
So they're being our partner in this time.
Yeah, and so special thanks to DigiKey for doing that. Folks have been asking us, okay, so you're doing manufacturing, this is important, you're doing face shields, it's important. How can we support you because you don't have the things in stock? Buy a gift certificate. Buy an Adafruit gift certificate if you want, because you can always use it later.
Doesn't expire.
Yeah.
Good forever.
Another thing that we want to make sure it's clear. So this is just some of the people that were at a random Friday not too long ago. But Adafruit is paying all team members. Adafruit is paying all contractors. No one has been laid off. We are trying to keep everything together as long as possible. We're watching what's happening with the government with the stimulus bill very closely. But the most important thing we can all do is be good to each other right now, and please don't go out. Because the sooner we get through this is the sooner we can all get back to business.
I want to get back to electronic. I want to miss it so much.
Yeah.
But I can't do that unless we all stay in and get through this peak, and then...
Yeah. And New York we're at the beginning of the wave, so that's why I said also we might not be able to do some of the shows. So we're also...
I haven't left the house in 4 days.
No, we were...
Well, we were briefly outside to deliver some stuff.
We had to do some stuff. No, this is one big long day. We were at the factory last night this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I know. I did a blog post, and I'm like, wow, that was such a long time ago. It was yesterday.
Yeah.
I had photos of us. We were there doing the Facebook. Anyways.
Yeah.
Time is weird now.
I know. Isn't it weird?
Yeah. Okay. So anyways, on tonight's show, Lady Ada is going to talk about people that were on the show and tell.
Yes.
We've moved our hours to 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. to 8 p.m.
What is time?
On the show and tell.
1 hour long.
And then, of course, you're watching Ask an Engineer here. That's 8:30.
Still 8.
8 o'clock. Yeah, I better stop talking.
Numbers don't...
We're going to go over John Park's show.
Yeah.
And show some MakeCode Minute.
Yeah.
We have some time travel, some 3D printing, some Made in New York City, new products. We're just going to talk about stuff that you can actually buy right now. Which is not products. And then we're going to answer your questions. We do that on Discord, adafruit.it/Discord. Join all 17,000 of us.
More time to ask me questions, though, so get your questions ready, because,
all that and more on Ask an Engineer.
We're here.
Okay. So, let's start off the show. We don't have a discount code, so buy a gift certificate. And that'll help us go. So when you later on when we're shipping, you can.
Yeah, or go to digikey.com, get stuff there.
That's right. So
that supports us too.
That's right, Lady Ada, who's on the show and tell.
We had another massive show and tell. We got through everybody there, which was impressive.
What did they do?
Wow, I feel like it was like 18 hours long. It was 1 hour. Okay, Brent came by and showed off 2 projects. One, he's working on a Fona library, a cellular library for CircuitPython, which is really cool. So people will be able to use their CircuitPython boards with our Fona modules. He recently wrapped up the Ethernet support for the WizNet. So he just dove right into doing another networking stack. Good on him. And he's also doing a project to monitor body temperature over Bluetooth and then save it to Adafruit I/O. We found a paper that said that if you measure armpit temperature for 12 seconds, it'll get to the same body temperature as if it was like your forehead, because it's kind of hard to walk around with something glued to your head, although maybe that's the future. So instead he has a wearable that's an arm bracelet, and then the inner part takes his temperature, and he's logging that to Adafruit I/O, so he can track his temperature while he's sleeping, because he's making sure he doesn't get another fever, that he doesn't have to worry about sharing that data with anybody else. Erin did a guide on a sewable face mask. Really handy. Some nurses are asking people to sew face masks and donate them. Check, of course, with your nearby hospital to see if that's, you're in a zone that is looking for that. She posted up a guide on how to make your own sewn double layer cotton face mask. You don't even need a sewing machine. So a great project if you're stuck at home. Maybe you have one of those little mini sewing kits, to fix little rips and tears or buttons. You can use that, cut up an old t-shirt or a dishcloth, and then you can make your own washable face mask. She also did a small project on a game timer. If you're playing 2-player games and you want like a timer, so each person only has 30 seconds to make their next move, like a speed chess type timer. JP is showed off his clue-based hand washing timer where he uses the proximity sensor, so you just wave your hand in front of it to start the timer. Noam Pedro did some iterations on the Prusa 3D printed face shield, now with a top cover, and also played some sweet tunes on the MX Guitar. Will show off their video for that MX Guitar on later in the show in the 3D section. Scott is working on BLE MIDI, which is really cool. It means that you can use our NRF52840 boards to make synthesizers, musical instruments, and other MIDI-controlled devices, both as a client or as a host. So you can either control a MIDI device that is like, either you are the MIDI device or you're controlling a MIDI device, both ways. So maybe in another week or two, we'll have a library and some code to try out. Phil B is making a glue library that lets you use any Adafruit GFX compatible TFT or OLED displays work with little VGL, which is a very nice interface TFT library. They did a great job of making something that fits on a Cortex or ESP32 size processor. Drew demoed off the FPGA Orange Crab. He got one. It's a feather-shaped FPGA board, really powerful. It's I think a Litex chip, and you can use it with any of our feather wings. So that's a great way to jump into FPGAs and then add accessories. Liz showed off the breadboard like prototype demo of the MX Guitar. So how do you design something before it's all fully 3D printed? She showed that off. Helen made a neck vocoder music controller with like a mini beagle bone and a Bella. It's like really cool, like witch music. I liked it. Kevin from DigiKey said 2,000 people at DigiKey are now working from home. They're also an essential supplier. They're essential to every industry in America, so they have to stay open to ship components to everybody from military to medical to transportation to food processing. So that's good that they're open. But he showed off his 3D printer and a desk tour and some Circuit Playground Express projects. Emily came back with her 3D printed iPhone holder, version number 3. It's better. Just holds the iPhone more. Good work, Emily. Dan really misses his Pebble Watch. Or he has a Pebble Watch, but he wanted to remake it. So he paired an Espruino with a sharp memory display to make his own watch. And he also made one with a bubble display. Techniac wrote and published a webpage for PPE sharing. So folks who want to 3D print or sew personal protective equipment can be matched up with medical workers or other folks who are like, hey, I could really use that. So a good way to connect people. Liam showed off his AR PCB software. So you can like see traces on a PCB just by putting it in front of your computer. Super neat. Lily made a neon cat sign, and if that wasn't enough, it's Alexa controlled. So she asks her Alexa to turn on the neon cat sign, and the cat was named Admiral Grace Hopper. So
cool cat name.
Pretty cool. Geek Mom has some neat bright wearable pendants, LED pendants with laser cut pieces. If you make a gift to a U.S. food bank for $20 or more, she will gift you one of these. Check out the video for info on how to, the URL on how to get that free wearable with your donation if you're in the U.S. Make It Hackin' showed off a NASA Space Apps Challenge Hackathon Award, which was like a really sweet award with like e-ink and feather and like just neopixels. It was like this gigantic globe. His fourth PCB, a great design. Dr. Footleg apparently is not.
He's a doctor for chemistry.
He's a doctor, but it doesn't work on feet or legs. So okay, whatever. His son wanted a lightsaber. They built upon the Noam Pedro design, added more buttons, but it looks really cool. This is like the most intense lightsaber build I've seen. 3D printed plus neopixels, also running CircuitPython. Joey made a forehead temperature sensor heads-up display built into a cap. So another way to monitor your temperature, especially if you have a fever and you want to keep track of where it's going. Christopher has an 8051, wants to program it. Doesn't have a programmer, but he does have a Pi Zero. He made a Pi Zero 8051 programmer. So old tech meets new tech. TG Techie designed a BLE watch and also a user interface for it. Chaos made a Arduino Mega powered LED wall. Orlando showed off a breakout for the LMP 91000 analog front end for potentiostats. These are used for glucose and sweat monitoring. That's kind of cool. I've never heard of that. Roberto made a birdhouse with some sensors. And Old Crow showed off a 10 kilowatt solar install on his house, recently got installed. And he's making power free using the sun.
Okay.
And we had a massive show and tell.
Yeah, it's an hour long, so there's a lot. Yeah, there is. So, all participants on the show and tell will get a sticker one day. Right now, we're only shipping essential components. So you'll get one later. So if you're on the show, we'll just remind us and we'll send you one. Honor policy. So, okay, this is part of our Adafruit live series of shows. JP will be doing his show tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. JP, here is this was the Garden Bot preview.
Yeah, it's a Clue powered plant monitor, waterer.
All right, and every single week, JP has MakeCode Minute, so take it away, JP.
What I wanted to talk about today in the MakeCode Minute is using some comparisons to tell when a couple of different sensors are in different states. So what you can tell here is I have essentially 4 different states, and what I'm measuring are my light meter and my temperature sensor. And what I decided to do is set, this was actually a suggestion again from my daughter. She's been coming up with great ideas for me for projects. She said, how about a weather sensor? So essentially this will tell me if it's dark or light and if it's cold or hot. And so then I can display different colors on the NeoPixel ring depending on those conditions. So what I have are these 4 different conditional statements. So I'm checking, and each of these is a pair of conditions that are being checked. So I'm first setting, the first condition is going to check if the light level is less than a certain value, which I'm calling the light target, and I've set that up here at a value of 90. And the temperature in Fahrenheit is less than my temperature target, which I set to 80 degrees, then it's going to be yellow. And so the nice thing is here, right here in the simulator, if I expand this so you can see it nice and big, you'll see that we have a little virtual light sensor slider and temperature sensor slider. So as you can see, when it gets over 80 degrees and it's dark, I get a blue lighting set. If it's light out, it's going to be red. If the temperature goes below 80, it's going to be yellow. And if it's dark and below 80, it goes to, I think it's orange, but it looks kind of yellowy on here too. So this is something that you can apply to a lot of different things, not just the sensors on the board, but different combinations of button presses. And it could be more than just 2. You can extend these. They'll get wider and wider and wider. But if you look right inside of the logic section, we have all we need here, these if statements, which you can expand, and these comparisons, which you can stack multiples of these inside of each other. So you can see we can have comparisons going on. We can have these Booleans like and or going on. So these can get really big and really wide, but they're fantastic for building the logic to do things like compare a couple things and give you a state based on those comparisons. And so that is your MakeCode Minute.
Okay, and don't forget, again, JP's workshop tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. This week, the CircuitPython on Hardware News will come out later. One of the team members from the CircuitPython team is going to be doing a newsletter this week, so you'll see that video coming up tomorrow. Help wanted, jobs.adafruit.com. I think there's going to be a lot of folks that have skills and a lot of people that are going to be hiring soon. So do check out jobs.adafruit.com. My suggestion too, if you're in the engineering community or if you know medical professionals, a lot of people are going to say, hey, we need just a microcontroller to do this servo thing for this ventilator thing. This
or
is
like
all
temperature monitor.
Yeah,
I've
we're
seen
gonna,
a lot of temperature
that's all we're going to hear for the next
Yeah.
few months. So, point them to the jobs board because they're at some services. Adafruit is doing some engineering services and probably will end up doing a bunch, but we're not going to be able to do everything. This is one of the only times we'll do services. So point people that way. All right, let's do some time travel.
And don't forget when you post whether you can do the job remotely. A lot of people.
All jobs are remote right now.
That's true. Well,
all jobs are remote.
some are essential.
Yeah, but for the most part,
Yeah.
right now that's what a lot of things that have happened. All right, time travel. Let's look around in the world of makers, hackers, artists, and engineers. And
Yesterday.
So I was by myself. I was a receiving team on. I think it was times where I don't.
Tuesday or Monday, right?
Maybe Monday. No,
Was it last week, Thursday?
I don't remember. But
I think it was Thursday or Friday.
I shot a video, and it's a 2-minute long video of just me by myself, and like here's what Adafruit looks like with no one around. So I'm gonna show that. So
you curious?
Things have changed since that because now we have a couple of people, and we're now considered an essential business. So take it away past me from I don't remember.
MT Factory.
Yeah. Okay, I'm done receiving the packages for today. Adafruit is completely empty. The governor just said you can only have 25% of your workforce. We were already down to 50 proactively, and they changed that to 25. So I am the less than 1%. I'm one out of 130 or so total. So here's shipping, and as you can see, it's completely closed down. We got out all the packages yesterday, and then we did a special run today. When I say we, had a helper bring that to the post office. So this is Adafruit closed down. Okay, this is Adafruit. We are shut down. We have a lot of manufacturing capabilities. We place millions of tiny parts on circuit boards. I believe we have one of the only stencilers and probably the only two Samsung high-speed pick-and-place machines would allow you to put tiny parts on circuit boards. We'll be sending emails to our contacts that we know to help in any way that we can to manufacture any equipment that's needed during COVID. You can see we have all the capabilities. We have all the testing procedures. We even have equipment that some people might need. We would need special permission to be considered an essential business. And that's what I'm going to work on next, is just outlining everything that we have, everything we can do. We are in Manhattan, and so we're in the epicenter in a lot of ways. So that's what we're doing. Okay, and in New York, they needed blood. So for our teams that were working remote, some of them have a paid day off, even though there's all sorts of weird things with time and paid time off. We still added paid time off, and this is Teddy. He's wearing one of our Art of Electronics shirts, and Teddy gave blood. So even if you're working remotely and you're working with your company, your town will need this. If you can give blood, please do. All right, open source hardware time. We are an open source hardware company, and we have 2,163 guides. Lady Ada,
That's right.
what's on the big board this week?
We published guides this week. Okay, so we have the MX Guitar, that was last week. We have the guide on the Bonsai Buckaroo, so attach it to your Clue or Microbit. To water your plants, you can either code the microbit in MakeCode. We have example code for you to get started, or you can use the Clue with CircuitPython It's a pretty simple board, but we still wanted to make sure people had all the instructions they needed. All you need is alligator clips and some nails. We also sell the pump and tubing. Connect it up, and you can make an automatic plant watering project, which is coming up in the spring. People are going to be taking care of plants. We also have a guide from Noah and Pedro and Dano on how to make DIY face shields. We made a couple modifications to the Prusa design, and Dano showed how to use a 2-liter bottle cut up in order to make the plastic piece, because you may not be able to get plastic. A lot of it is sold out everywhere. But if you want to make a small face shield that goes down to about your chin, you use a 2-liter bottle. You probably have one from drinking all that Mountain Dew. Cut it open and attach it to this face shield with a slightly longer bottom we modified, and you can make your own. Erin made a guide on how to sew your own 2-layer cotton face mask. This is used, some nurses have been requesting them, so contact or check if your hospital has a contact form if they are requesting hand-sewn cotton masks. But also, if you are someone who, you cough and sneeze and you don't cover up like me, you want to wear a mask when you go out to protect other people from your sneezing. This is a fun project you can do with just a needle and thread. You don't need a sewing machine.
We're going to show a video of that after this too.
Yeah, we have a demo video as well. Erin also did a project to make a game timer. She's spending a lot of time indoors playing Scrabble with her partner, and I guess they play speed Scrabble. So you can't take more than, I guess, like 10 seconds to make your next move. So using a Circuit Playground Express, she made a very simple timer and shows how she wrote the code for the timer. So you can alternate with the 2 buttons, the 2 players, and it counts down and warns you when your time is up. And then, of course, we had the matching guide for that garden bot that you saw JP build, a 3D printed robot that holds a plant, a clue, and a bonsai buckaroo to make your own self-watering plant bot, which is a really beautiful little plant holder. Okay, then we got the videos.
Yeah, so did you want to show the game time video too? Or do you want to wait for that one?
Either one. Both guys went live today.
Okay, so we're going to do these back to back. First
Okay.
is going to be the mass video and then the game time video.
All right, take it away, Erin.
Make your own game clock with Circuit Playground. Lights and sound count down the seconds for each player. For even more fun, hook up your own capacitive touch buttons with stuff you find around the house. You can also hook up a NeoPixel strip with alligator clips, so the whole room can cheer for the winner. Drag and drop code blocks in Microsoft MakeCode to customize your sounds and colors, and start practicing your victory dance. If you liked this video, tap the like button. Check out the full build tutorial on the Adafruit Learning System, and remember...
Okay, next up we're going to do some main New York City factory footage.
It's a special main factory footage.
Yeah, I'm going to narrate some of them, and then some of them are videos.
Okay.
So here we go. Main New York City factory footage.
We did this week.
Yeah, so Angel is shipping our critical, essential orders to places in New York, to places around the USA. These are mostly
scientists,
tons
doctors.
of components. Yeah, so
Yeah.
these are we're keeping up. We might have to have some more help, but right now I think Angel was the only one on part of shipping. So I have a little video.
This is Angel, and she's running this whole place right now. How you doing, Angel?
Pretty good. Shipping a bunch of orders.
Definitely are. You staying sane in here?
Staying alone.
Nice and safe. Good distance.
Nice and safe.
See you later.
And then here's Michelle cutting some plastic.
Let's get the sights and sounds here. Cool.
We are reconfiguring and retooling our workplace to cut huge amounts of the plastic and foam so we can make these face shields. And here's some of the sections, and then we're experimenting with some of the things that we saw out there. This is one of those
It's an aerosol box.
aerosol boxes.
Yeah, some doctors not. This is still a very new invention. It's a box that helps if a doctor or a nurse has to perform some procedure on a person and they want to minimize the number of aerosols that could get into the medical professional's face. This aerosol box, it has holes in it so you can put your hands through, and it covers the top of the person's head, but gives them enough room to move around. And if you need to intubate or check somebody out or move them around, this can be very helpful. So we prototyped a design. We'll publish up the files. We're still talking to different groups and hospitals to see if it's useful. Not clear yet whether people need it.
And here's a time lapse. We have 2 laser cutters running now, so we can do more high-speed cutting of the plastic. Give us a good excuse to get our Glowforge plugged in.
Yeah, we had this for like a couple of years. We got the filter just
had
now.
it for a while.
So now
Good timing.
Yeah, we were alternating the Epilogue and the Glowforge.
If you know Colin, here's Colin. And then here's one of them, and these are meant to be low-cost and disposable face shields.
Yeah, do you want me to model one?
We will in a second.
Okay.
Here's Dano.
Here's Dano on
Dano's
one.
leading this at Adafruit, so thank you so much, Dano, for doing this and just taking good care of our team and yourself, and you'll be helping out a lot of people. Here's Lady Ada with, we were doing stuff at the factory last night, and real quick, here, if you hand that to me.
Yes.
Yeah, so
The
this will give you-
mannequin.
Yeah, this will give you an idea.
So yeah, it's important to have like clearance. You want to have the top covered, but this is just a foam, disposable foam based one. Very similar to the kind that normally you'd be able to buy, but you can't buy them right now.
That's right.
Okay.
And that is made in New York City.
Factory footage.
Factory footage. Okay. 3D printing time. Oh, we have 2 more videos. Woohoo!
Oh, well.
All right, this video week. I finally get to watch these.
Yeah.
All right, 3D printing. Noah and Pedro have their show every single Wednesday at
That's
11
right.
a.m. And
Still haven't.
we have the MIDI guitar, and then we're gonna go to the facial speed up.
Okay. Back to back.
Hey, what's up folks? In this video, we're taking a look at the MX MIDI guitar. This is a 3D printed MIDI controller that is inspired by the game controller from Guitar Hero. Using audio software with MIDI support, we're using it as a musical instrument. It has 12 Cherry MX switches, strum mode for playing chords. You can play with modulation. There's also an accelerometer mode. You can adjust velocity. Rotary selector for changing octaves for playing different notes. It also has a whammy bar. The code for this project was written in Adafruit CircuitPython. Shout out to Liz Clark for collaborating with me on this project. Link to her channel is in the description. It uses the USB MIDI library and lets you easily change the notes so you can make your own sets. Because it's CircuitPython, the code is editable on any computer with USB. There's a strip of neopixels inside the head of the guitar. With black LED acrylic, you can make some really cool lighting effects. The whammy bar works just like the pitch bending wheel on a MIDI controller. Toggle switches let you change modes for different playing styles. The two potentiometers lets you adjust velocity and modulation. The strumming mode really makes this unique and feels unlike any other MIDI controller. The 3D printed design is open source and available to download, modify, and remix. You can get the parts to build this project, links are in the description. We documented this project on Adafruit's learning system so folks can learn how to build their own. It features the build instructions, a wiring diagram, and the code is on GitHub. So if you're looking for a DIY MIDI project, definitely check this out. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more projects from Adafruit.
And before we go, just another reminder, Wednesdays. Because a lot of people are getting into 3D printing right now because it's in news, so don't forget.
Like, fix up your 3D printer. You're stuck at home anyways.
All right, and now here is the face shield. Okay, here we go. We have a new segment that we're now up to 4.
It's meta new because it's new.
Yeah, and let's kick it off. Now, you're not going to be able to hear this, but we have a Ion NPI song.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah, so
That's
we're going to
awesome.
kick it off. Ready?
Okay.
On NPI.
I on NPI.
Okay, we're not stopping. We're gonna keep checking this out because
So-
every week there's new stuff.
There's new stuff, and this is in partnership with DigiKey. New stuff every week, new products. Your NPI, new product
Introduction.
introduction.
Okay, I'm gonna grab my notes because I'm gonna.
What is this thing?
Okay, so this one is actually interesting because last couple weeks we've picked chips or components or sensors or something, and this week I actually wanted to feature some of the educational resources that you could also get with new products. New products aren't just about products. I know, you're like, but products in the name. It's also about resources for engineers. And this is actually something I would have found really handy when I was designing the wave bubble. So if you've ever done or want to do RF circuitry, you have to change the way you lay out your circuits. You can't just, plop parts on wherever you want and connect traces, the thinnest trace you can get, send it out to Oshpark, and hope that you get the best performance. for a lot of these parts, especially as you're getting into 100 megahertz, gigahertz plus range, the type of PCB, the way you lay it out, the components you use is really important. So this week's INPI is going to look at a nifty collection of RF reference designs and eval boards that are published by NXP. So it's NXP/Freescale. They have a bunch of like really intense, powerful, amazing RF chips. They're used in science, military, medical, all kinds of technology, cellular, telecommunications. So you're trying to basically make chips that can beam data around really, really fast, and you want to get the best possible performance, especially since your link budget is limited, either by your power availability or your antenna or your legal limits or whatnot. So there's a bunch of eval boards that are available. So this one is the AFIC 901. It's a 2-stage high gain amplifier. You can see there's the input SMA, output SMA. It's like on a beautiful ceramic PCB. These aren't inexpensive, but if you really want an eval board, you don't want to spend the time getting this ceramic piece together and bolting it on. These are really nice little plug and play pieces. And then when you go to NXP's website, you can see they have data sheets and DXFs of all the layout information, and I like how they're really clear about exactly where you want to put every part. What's the component values, how far it has to be away. It's not the one I downloaded, it wasn't like an Altium file, it was a DXF, but it still had enough information that you could duplicate it into your design. So you can use it as a little building block, a proven RF design, so you don't have to worry about what if I didn't do a perfect job, because RF is so tricky to get right. Little things, a twist of an inductor, the thickness of a trace can make a huge difference.
Okay.
These are some of the other eval boards available. They also look really cool. These beautiful designs. I think I saw there's this eval board for this 2-gain amplifier. There's about 400 designs for download from NXP. Some you have to register, but it's free. Some you have to request, maybe because there's some export compliance or because of the technical requirements. But I saw 50 of them were downloadable, and I just started picking through them, and I was learning a lot about different layouts.
Now, if you want to get it, you can type in this code into DigiKey site. You can search for it in ways that Lady Ada said, but this is the DigiKey part number, and they also have a section.
This is the website.
Yeah.
So this is what I was interested in. I was like, oh, this is kind of handy. It's all these little gain stages and amplifiers and maybe splitters, PLLs, all that stuff. So check out NXP. They make a lot of good RF chips.
And that is Ion MPI.
Eye on MPI.
Okay. So we're doing new products in a very different way, because we're going to put up a video, but are you ready?
Okay.
I'll do this one.
Okay.
Sing your song. All right. So, new products. You can get gift certificates at any time at Adafruit. And that helps us while we are currently focused on being manufacturers for
essential needs.
Essential critical manufacturing. If that's you, email covid19@adafruit.com. If this is you can order things, but you have to email us so we can release the order, and we have to take a look at it.
The cool thing about these gift certificates is they're totally digital. You don't have to worry,
They never
You
expire.
don't have to touch anything.
Yeah.
You don't have to clean them off with Lysol.
If you happen to use Adafruit IO and there's always going to be a free version, but we have a plus version. Sign up. It helps us. And then AdaBox will be shipping eventually. Not as soon as we'd like, of course.
Yeah.
It'll be a little bit delayed, but there are a couple of slots. I thank everyone for not just canceling off the bat. So as soon as we're allowed to ship, we'll be able to ship.
We have 75% of the parts of the AdaBox, and then everything just ground to a halt.
Yeah.
But believe me, we have all the components. As soon as we can get back up in manufacturing, we're going to kit these out, and this is going to be the best AdaBox ever.
With new products. New. All right. So let's answer questions.
Okay.
We're going to go over to Discord.
Look, it's 8:50.
That's right. Adafruit.it/Discord. Join 17,000 of us over there. And
Scott makes a good point. Gift certificates are valid for all future new products. So future you will see a new product, and you can just
So we'll do a few questions. Like I said, we do that over on Discord. And then I think we're up to go to the Adafruit factory to mask up and everything. We have
some deliveries.
we have a special way that we have a separate set of clothes. We're doing all this stuff just to have the over the top bit of caution. Not because we're concerned about getting ill, because that's less likely. But what if we're a carrier and we get someone sick? That's the thing that we're all trying to avoid.
Yeah.
So we have our whole thing. So start asking your questions. Yeah. Gift certificate. Oh, what was that image? Was that toilet paper?
It's
in there?
étoile. Close. It's spelled similarly, but it's like a wallpaper design.
Yeah. Okay. First question. Thanks for all you're doing and having a show and tell. The NRF 52.8 Bluefruit has 2 megabytes of QPSI flash. Can the flash be larger without changing the 0.2 microfarad? I think that's
Point
what it is.
UF2.
Point UF2 or any other code. Sorry, I can't say right now.
That's okay. I can also read them from here.
Yeah.
Because I'm closer now.
Yeah, sorry. I'm
So
having a problem.
CircuitPython, it's kind of designed for that 2 megabyte QSPI, but what you can do is you can make a modification. You can fork CircuitPython and then build your own version that it supports a larger QSPI flash. You'll have to, of course, solder on a different one. Or with our Feather, you just attach on a SD Featherwing and you can store a lot more files on the SD card.
Okay, any recommendations for good ways to learn FPGA programming and technology?
I think a lot of people doing like icebreaker stuff, go pick up one of the icebreaker boards.
Okay, the next one is, why don't you read this
Okay,
one?
I have a TSL2591 high dynamic range digital light sensor I'm using for light monitoring. It's currently running on Raspberry Pi 3B. It takes a reading every minute and uploads to CSV. Sometimes the script fails with an error message. Overflow reading light channels. The script is written in Python. Yeah, sometimes, the readings, in Python, when you get data from a sensor and sometimes the sensor is maxed out, it'll throw an exception. You just have to catch that exception. You can look up tutorials in Python on how to catch exceptions. And then you might want to do something different when that happens. You don't want to take bad data. If it's overflowed, it means the data isn't valid or good. You probably just want to restart your loop.
Okay. Next
up.
up.
Any update on using both screens on the Halloween with 2 screens, I forgot what it's called, and also the ability to get recordings from the CPX microphone. You can't really get recordings from the CPX microphone in CircuitPython. We don't have code for that. In Arduino, you might be able to do it, but then where would you store it? That's challenging. It's not the reading that's hard, it's the recording. It's very difficult to record audio in real time. And then there's no updates on using both screens with the monster mask, if that's what you're asking.
Okay. What is that frame behind you? That's a poster
Next.
that has all the things from Next Computing that they ever made. And it's pretty rare. I've never seen one besides the one I have. Let's see here. Just trying to hit some of those other questions. Fill the ways to cares the future.
I don't see any questions. Looking for question marks.
Yeah, looking for questions. Any plan? Oh, what's the plastic sheeting that folks are using for the face
PET
shields?
G. So you want I don't remember what PET stands for. It's like polyethylene triphate or something. PET G is the most common name for it. It has some brand names as well.
Okay. And then Scott's in the chat, so maybe Scott can talk about this. Any plans to add threading to CircuitPython? People love
It already kind of has threading. You just don't know it.
Yeah. Okay. Your nitrogen generator produces oxygen and enriched waste gas. Can that be useful in this crisis?
At this time, there's nobody saying that they can't generate oxygen. Oxygen generators.
We've seen that plenty of oxygen.
We're really good at that. We learned how to extract oxygen and nitrogen from the atmosphere a while ago. And even though there's a lot of us humans, I remember even MIT had a big nitrogen generator. It's not a problem. It just runs for a long time and splits up that gas.
Okay. Next up, we have. Is there any way to simulate a trellis in MakeCode? No, it's they have the hardware. They have a game, but they like the hardware. Not yet, but that would be a cool thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you have the UF2 bootloader upload using Arduino at the same time, or does the UF2 bootloader replace the Arduino bootloader? I like the option of being able to use my board as a mass storage device, but don't want to switch completely to CircuitPython for this particular application due to the space power consumption concerns. This is Arcata.
Yes.
You want to use Arcata?
No.
Wait, no, sorry.
The UF2 bootloader is compatible with Arduino. It has both mode and CircuitPython, like drag and drop.
Oh,
mode.
I'm thinking of when you want to have a file system in like Arduino.
Yeah, that's different. I think
Got
he's
it.
talking about the bootloader. But yeah, you just check out we have a guide on UF2. Read that page; it'll tell you all about it. But yeah, you can use it with Arduino. We do all the time. All of our boards, you can switch between Arduino and CircuitPython.
Okay. Does Adafruit have a coherent SDR board?
We carry a couple SDR boards. I don't know if they're coherent. So go to adafruit.com and search for SDR to see what we have and see if that does what you want.
All right. I think there's a couple more people typing, but I believe that is going to be it for this evening.
All right, we got to all the questions.
I think we did.
Nice.
I think we did.
More questions? Okay, thanks.
We did.
Great.
Those are all the questions.
All right, thanks everybody.
Okay, well, that's our show tonight. We wanted to say thank you to the Adafruit community and customers that are buying gift certificates. That does help us, and don't forget, you can use those later when we are shipping regular things. Please remember to email covid19@adafruit.com if you happen to be one of the people that are actually working on COVID-related solutions,
And you need something
prototypes, and you need something shipped. We are able to do that. We'll be running a machine specifically for those type of products. Special thanks to the Adafruit team that's working remote. Thanks to Zay, he's in the Slack channel right now. Special thanks to all of the people who've sent some really nice well wishes to us as we've been doing this. And tonight, I would like to just say the biggest special thanks to all the healthcare workers that are out there.
Here in New York, they have a big challenge. There's a lot of them.
So all the doctors, nurses, everyone who works in healthcare, this is it. So thank you. If you have friends and family in that industry, just tell them thank you. It's important. Okay, so we'll be back next week, pretty sure, on Ask an Engineer. Thank you, everyone. See you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Here's your moment of Zener.